And just when you thought it was safe to go out for a chicken sandwich, no, based on a true story, no. It is JRDA Champs 2019 continuing with another potentially awesome game between Seattle and Rose City. That is, yes, the number 4 and the number 5 seeds. There's the chicken sandwich for Scott Chicken to my left and your right. Part of a great announcer crew we have all weekend long. We're going to shuffle and reset for tomorrow. You'll hear more of them on the broadcast. We're working now with skaters who, or announcers who have literally rolled up, some of them skating in the tournament, some of them coaching, some of them parenting, some of them being fans in their off time. But JRDA crew, always fun, always a great time. If you're not part of the Junior Roller Derby Association, what are you waiting for? Find your local league and get involved, either as a skater, referee, official, announcer, volunteer. We could use all the help on the ground that we can get. Rosebuds versus the Galaxy Girls. That is the team from Seattle. Seattle will be in the black, take note, with the silver trim. And Rosebuds in the white with silver trim. If you've seen the last few games, you've kind of picked up on that. Somehow the seeding this year has ended up with teams that have similar uniform colors. So tune in tomorrow and they'll be wearing the other colors probably. But watch closely as, yes, Seattle in black, Rose in white. Seattle entering the number 4 seed. Rose City Rosebuds from Portland entering the number 5 seed. The winner of this game will meet tomorrow in the 1 p.m. game. Winner of that game will advance to the championship tournament. Just checking my records here. Yes, Kalamazoo versus Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz entering the number 1 seed. You have not seen them yet in the tournament. But the winner of the Santa Cruz Kalamazoo game will face off against the winner of this game, and that will be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. Full brackets on juniorrollerderby.org. Also, further down on the event page, the 2019 JRDA Championships event page on Facebook. If this is your first time watching roller derby, we will explain it as it goes along. We play 2 30-minute halves. And in a tournament like this, remember, even the team that does not win, their weekend is not over yet. They will, the runner-up in this game will go on to the 9 a.m. Mountain Time game tomorrow. To face Rocky Mountain, if my records are correct. And those teams will continue to skate against each other on and on until all places are filled, with the top goal there being 5th place. Looks like some people huddled around one of the off-camera, barely off-camera, one of the skaters might be talking about the equipment. I won't pontificate any further, but got to have full gear in the game. May have to buy it or borrow it. But okay, looks like we're good now. currently in the Twitch chats, people talking about the postseason packages for the WFTDA playoffs. They have gone on sale today, and there is a discount code, so scroll up for that. You'll need the exact spelling. Currently in progress on the other track, the yellow track, we have Los Anarchists from Los Angeles. They entered as the number 3 seed against Pile of Bones Junior Derby from Regina, Saskatchewan, who entered the number 6 seed. That game in progress right now. We're a few minutes behind on the pink track. I want to give everybody a chance to warm up and be ready to play their best. Skating their best derby right here. False start called. I thought that was a false start. Maybe it was not. It was another penalty. So a skater in black headed to the penalty box. Heard something in one ear and something different in the other. Nonetheless, LCU later was the lead jammer there. Rival E came out of the pack, but not able to come back around and score because LCU later, with the advantage that goes along with being lead jammer, calling off the jam after scoring 4 points. You score 1 point on each opposing blocker you pass after that first trip through the pack. And the first trip through the pack, you're battling to be the first one out, and that is what we call the lead jammer. Lead jammer then controls the jam, can call off the jam at any time. Otherwise, the jam goes a full 2 minutes. Offense and defense happening at the same time. Little strategery off the whistle, including the Pivot 700 toe jammer there. Iron Rabbit versus Ruby Slippers. And it is the Iron Rabbit in black for Seattle, lead jam. Ruby Slippers out of the pack. Forearm called on the Iron Rabbit, so this is a power jam. Ruby Slippers has scored 4 points and potentially could continue to score as 30 seconds in the penalty box once the skater sits down. The penalty box in between the benches under the camera, at least from your angle at home. Illegal contact on 722 A. Rashid for the Galaxy Girls, Seattle Derby Brats. Ruby Slippers slips through on the outside for 4 points. And a no. Check it out up front. The scoring trip practically complete again, except for toe jammer defense and drawing the jammer back. But may have already been scored upon, but point is you can't better your position once you're knocked out of bounds, and knocked out once again, this time by 23 Afro Jammerai. Seattle Jammer back out, 4 points, and that's 12-12. Lead jammer status goes away when you go to the penalty box, so this jam will go the remainder of the time limits about now. $16-16. Boy, was it fun to watch, but yeah, it was a wash. So power start forthcoming as Rose City Jammer in the penalty box. Penalty time pauses between jams. As 54 Go-Go who earns lead and controls the jam. Blocked out and centaways. Back to action, both jammers in action. And another blocker joining in. I think that was Filipina Fire, or Deathina rather. Deathina, excuse me. 4 skaters with 4 digits. A little rare there, at least geographically to some of us. 1 minute gone in the jam. Go-Go with lead. So far, no points to speak for. Blocked out by the pivot, and joined there also by Mädelweiss. What a showing by the blockers. I know all the Junior Derby blockers that are out there watching likely taking mental notes right now. Star Stash by Ruby Slippers still has it in hand. Furiously pushing through. You cannot create an impenetrable link, so no Red Rover out there. Meanwhile, up front, scoring trip complete by Go-Go. 1:55 it took for those 4 points. Whew! But that evens the score. Another amazing game we're in store for. They all are going to be, but especially given the seeding and as we mentioned before, a lot of these championship level teams spent most of the season playing against each other. Lead jam. Bruno Scars, it appears. Yes, there we go. Number 2, Don't Mess With Me. The opposition for Rose, and 4 points on the board for Seattle. And another 4 points, making 8. That is the most points unopposed in a jam so far. Stays in on the inside to complete the scoring trip. Star has been passed from Don't Mess With Me to number 13, Fulagora. But could not come around in time to score. 12 points for the Galaxy girls. Not the high scoring jam, but the highest scoring jam unopposed. In other words, last 2 jams, Seattle now on a 16.2 jam rally. LCU later, lead jammer. LCU later previously with 4 points scored. That was in jam number 1. Jam called with 2 or 3 seconds to spare over Naylor Swift, who had the star. Lively audience we have here at the Ranch Events Complex in Loveland, Colorado. Not at all surprised by that. The finest Derby teams available and the finest parents, fans, family, friends, all making the trip. 4 points for Rose in the previous jam, making 24 now to 33. Ghost Pepper facing off against Rival E. And Rival E with lead. Ghost Pepper, number 911. Completes the initial pass. to the light of the fans in the straightaway, or perhaps they like that block. Either way, 4 points scored by Rival Lee. And that is how the jam will end. Now, Seattle 37, Rose 24. Not an insurmountable lead. I don't need to tell regulars that, but those of you just watching roller derby, picking it up for the first time, not at all an insurmountable lead. This is 3 scoring trips plus an extra point to tie the game. Concentrated starts, now spreading out a bit with almost strict defense. Track cut penalty on Lady Gotcha as the Iron Rabbit earns lead and has, yes, that power jam. .21 in black. The Iron Rabbit put up 16 points previously, but those 16 points met by the opposing jammer in that jam. Inside, open momentarily for 4 points, calling off the jam to ice the jammer. You can't see it, it's off camera, but the opposing jammer for Rose City in the penalty box, standing in the box, which means they have fewer than 10 seconds to serve. However, time pauses in between jams. So good strategy there and awareness to see that the jammer was standing. This will mean they have a power start, so time to and moves among the blocking core there. Missed who that was, but I'm sure they'll be called out momentarily. Lead jam on that power start is Bruno Scars. Blockers can't stray too far out. That's why sometimes you hear no pack or pack is here. And you see some skaters in the middle bridging to keep everyone legal. Bruno Scars, scoring trip complete, 4 points. Jammer okay, good checking there. Oh, Ghost Blocker adding insult to that strategy there. What that was, Blocker attempting to draw a track cut by bettering position, coming back in ahead of that blocker. Track cut called, though, on Bruno Scars. This is a power jam for Lady Gotcha in the remaining, well, there's 40 seconds left in the jam, and that is how the jam is going to end. Now, matter of breaking through the pack and putting, no, that was waved off, excuse me. The scoring trip now complete. A fine line between everyone being upright and in bounds, or out of play, rather. So, penalty waved off. And the jam was called, as normally lead jammer status goes away when you go to the penalty box, but that technically did not happen. 45-24. And unofficially 17:09 to go in the period following this timeout for Rose City. On this track, stay tuned, because the #1 seed, Diamond City Miners, will meet the Cherry Bomb Brawlers, who defeated Raleigh by 1 point at the start of today's action. Again, Cherry Bomb Brawlers versus the Diamond City Miners on this track following this game. The winner of that game will play again tomorrow afternoon, and the winner of that game advances to the championship game. On the same, on the rather the yellow track at the same time, Philly in the Open Division, Philly will meet the winner of today's Game 2, which was Capital City. Winner of that game will play Mob City tomorrow, and winner of that game will go to the championship game. Rival E versus LCU later. As defense doing its job. Now a little more mixed as Rose City continuing to swarm Rival E. However, Rival E with Lee Jam. LCU later, worth noting, stashed the star momentarily, was able to break through the pack, but not able to come around and score. So that is another 4-point scoring trip for Zero Jam for the Galaxy girls, now at 55-24. "16 minutes to go in the period, another 30 minutes after that. Ruby Slippers blocked out. And Gogo attempting to save position. Not going out of bounds. Did go out of bounds again that time. And again in the same spots. What defense we're seeing once again. 40 seconds into the jam and barely into turn one. Direction call on Deathina for the Galaxy girls. Multiplayer block called on Fulagora. Lead Jam Gogo. 38 seconds to go in the jam. That's how tight the defense has been. Inside was open, but then met. Perfect timing. If you're Rose City, that is. 84. Ferocious. Emphasis on the rose in the middle. Ferocious with that block, forcing the call off. Three points scored before that. 58 now to 24. Iron Rabbit versus Donut Mess With Me. And the Iron Rabbit lead jam again. The Iron Rabbit with 20 total points in this period. Make that 24. Donut Mess With Me pulls off the star. Holding the face momentarily, so don't know if that was more of a gesture or not, but star has been passed to 26, Mace of Spades. However, jam called on the other side by the Iron Rabbits, who put 12 on the board, making it even 70 for Seattle. Rose, 24. 12:45 to go in the period. Again, the pivot with the stripe in their helmet, they're able to become the jammer if the jammer passes a star to them. It is a fine process, and it has to be done to the satisfaction of the rules. Galaxy girls down one blocker, it appears, by my count. Naylor Swift blocked out and back, and a whoa! Blocked 3 times in the same place, stayed inbounds, in control, and earned lead jam to Naylor Swift. Multiplayer block though on Toe Jammer. Galaxy girls down 2 blockers, 4 points for Naylor Swift. Star has been passed. Star passed to 29, the Rubinator. And again, hanging with the blockers, staying inbounds. Scoring trip complete, and 4 points matched. 4 points matched by the Rubinator. The Rubinator now the jammer for Rose City. Remember talking about those star passes, that did happen. Naylor Swift completes the scoring trip. And Rubinator blocked out of bounds, perhaps ready to call the Shell answer man. What a jam it has been. Started out by blocking, and now jamming, and that is it. 3 more points for the Rubinator, 2 more for 113. Net 7 for the Galaxy girls, up 84-31. Timeouts by Seattle following that net 7 jam. 10:05 unofficially to go in the period. So if you got it down now, been explaining the rules all day. Hopefully you've been joining us for that. But if you're curious as to what makes a back block, track cut, or some of our other penalties and rules, what they are, you can visit WFTDA.com/new. That is WFTDA.com/NEW for a downloadable roller derby cheat sheet. You can also see the entire rule book if you like. Tickets for the 2019 International WFTDA Playoffs and Championships on sale now with discount codes specially created for Junior Roller Derby participants. Get the codes and tickets at WFTDA.com/tickets. And I know those of you also in the chat have seen that discount code come by. Only a third of the way through the game, still too close to call and too early to call as far as an 84-31 score goes, at least in the Derbyverse. That's how we roll. Anything can happen and possibly will among the number 4 and number 5 team in female junior roller derby. The officials huddled on the inside. That is a dazzle of zebras. Look it up. And appropriately so for this awesome game. Sometimes the timeouts can take a few minutes. Want to make sure everything's correct before we skate again, whether it be a rules clarification, whether it be scoring, whether it be an injury. As with injuries, as we've seen, at any given time, you have to have a medic watching the game. So sometimes if all the medics are, and all the medical staff are occupied with a current injury, we give them an extra few minutes until a member of the medical staff is available. Back to live action. LCU later, lead jam, Rose City. LCU later engaged, calling off the jam, and that wasn't in time. It was in time. 4 points scored. That is the first time Rose City has shut out Seattle in a jam in 8 jams. A little strategy as far as where to start, as long as you're behind that pivot line. Lead jam, Bruno Scars. Who completes the scoring trip. Ghost Pepper 911 for Rose City, the opposition. Scoring trip complete again for Bruno Scars. And Ghost Pepper was called on a penalty, a track cut it was. Bettering position. A track cut. Had the star off, looking for a star stash, or perhaps trying to pass the star, but did not get around to it. But is still the jammer. And will sit in the jammer seat in the penalty box, and has done so. 12 points so far for Bruno Scars. 16 points it is. Calling off the jam to ice the jammer. We've seen this before. $100. Playing 35. Under 8 minutes to go in the period. Again, another 30 minutes after this. You're watching the 2019 Junior Roller Derby Association Championship Tournament right here on WFTDA.tv. 2 tracks going on at the same time. And this being the female portion, one of the times we have, actually all weekend long, we have 2 female games followed by 2 open games followed by 2 more female games and so on until it gets to the 2 championship games, the respective championship games. So we won't make you pick. We will skate both of those just one track at a time unopposed, so you get to watch both of those. Some of you also on Twitch using the feature where you can watch both games at the same time, and if you were able to do that, like not just technically, but concentration-wise, then good for you. Iron Rabbit spins and spins again to complete the scoring trip. 4 points. Ghost Pepper, meanwhile, had returned to play and passed the star. And the star passed officially to 13 Fulagora, who has approached the pack to score. But, 7 skate 9, as number 789 is known. Looking for a track cut, but the angle of same, not quite. The Iron Rabbit calls off the jam. Looked a little unsure whether or not to do that, but called it was. 12 points scored to 4. So net 8 there for the Galaxy girls. Now 112 to 39. 6 minutes to go. Always 30 seconds between jams, and the jam can go a full 2 minutes or until the lead jammer calls it off. That includes when the clock winds down to 0 if it happens mid-jam. Go with lead and approaching. Seattle has ruled the lead jam game as far as being called lead jammer. And that's kind of bearing out in the score, because if you control the lead jammer situation, you can keep the other jammer from scoring. And often that's what happens, but not always. Penalties coming into play, perhaps distraction, perhaps strategy gone awry. We have seen all of that so far this weekend. And it is 180 Rival E lead jam again for the Galaxy girls. Seattle Derby Brats, the league known as. Team in black currently with the silver trim, just bowling through the blockers that time. Multiplayer block called on the pivot for Seattle. Cannot create an impenetrable link. You cannot, for those of us of age, way I say it is, you cannot play Red Rover. Can't link up, can't grab uniforms. If someone's looking to pass, then you have to block them positionally. You cannot just link up and otherwise nothing would get done. 8 points scored. Seattle up 124-39. The juniors playing by the same rules as the adults. This level 3 junior derby, we call it. And lead jam again. Naylor Swift this time over Lady Gotcha. Seattle pivot returning to play. Other than that, the penalty box is clear. Rather, now a Seattle blocker going to the penalty box. So 4-3 pack in favor of Rose City, and you're seeing that in this lengthy scoring trip, which is just now complete by Naylor Swift. Oh, and hard block. Referee checking on the skater. The skater has recovered. Lady Gotcha has. Oh, and again, this time on the knees in the infield. First time it was a rear catching the floor. They do sell tailbone protectors, but we will not find many skaters who use them. It does affect mobility a bit, and I've just heard it's awkward to get used to. Jammer down, and looks like we're going to jam called for safety. Jam called on the skater's behalf, because I did not see the hands touching the hips to call off the jam. So by rule, jammer will sit out the next 3 jams, but we will have medics. And we do have medics on site, but they are approaching now in turn 2. So unofficially 1:40 to go when we pick up again. Seattle up after 8 points, 132-39. Yes, as we mentioned, we have championships for 2 divisions, both the open division and the female division, and skaters do. There are a number of skaters who do challenge themselves by skating both open division and female division. And that's why the games are laid out as they are, where we have 2 female games and 2 open games and 2 female games and 2 open games throughout. because the skaters who skate in both divisions, it is entirely possible that they may skate one game, and then the next game, just by the seeding and by the wins and losses, the next game in the next division also happens to be a game that they are chartered for and perhaps need to be rostered for. So logistics coming into play. We have our previous game run over where the next game had started on time on the other track, but aside from that, there haven't been any conflicts yet as far as logistically, as we were talking about playing in both divisions.
2-1 is Jammer in Jam 19.
A minute 38 to go, and of course this jam can last a full 2-minute time limit, as we said, as lead jam, the Iron Rabbit. Up and landed outside, calling off the jam. The fourth whistle was in time. 0-0. Of course, no points scored on that jump because you have to land on at least one wheel in bounds, and no points scored by the Rose City Jammer. But man, oh man, was that close, because the jam is not over until that fourth whistle blast. How close that was, but 0-0 to show for it. We reset. .45 seconds to go in the jam. Of course, again, it can last a full 2-minute time limit. This time it is 800 Bruno Scars with lead jam. Black 722 called out. And here another penalty, but I don't see a skater leaving. No, I do. It is the jammer. Bruno Scars called out. Some illegal contact there. Star pass to Ghost Pepper. 9-1-1 for Rose City. Looking to skate us out as the lead jammer was called out, so the jam will last a full 2-minute time limit. A minute 16 to go. You see Dathina would like to help on defense, but is blocked behind the Rose City blockers. Now has rejoined the team. Capturing that goat, as the skaters say. And spinning and through Bruno Scars. Picking up where Bruno Scars left off. 4-point pass. Ghost Pepper has previously scored 4. Bruno Scars out, another 4 points, despite that time in the penalty box. 20 seconds remain. Oh, well, inside was closed. Illegal contact call on the pivot. Ghost Pepper out of the pack, 4 points, and those points immediately met by the Seattle Jammer, and it looks like we're going to settle, yes, 12-8, net 4 for the Galaxy Girls. Seattle in the black for this game. Fun game it is. The winner will advance and continue in the quest for first place in the division, and the runner-up will continue skating and have their next game tomorrow. 144-47 the score. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. You are watching the JRDA Championships right here on WFTDA.tv. And away we go once again, Seattle versus Rose City right here in the quest for the 2019 Junior Roller Derby Association Championship in the female division. My name is Standby. Thank you for joining us all day, all weekend long for all the top roller derby action you could ask for here with the Junior Roller Derby Association. Score now 144-47. Another 30 minutes of derby to be played momentarily. We also have 2 more games on each of the 2 tracks. So if you're on Twitch and you haven't found the second track yet, do check out the chat, and you'll have the link for that being posted momentarily. Some of you, I have learned, have been watching both games at the same time, and good for you if you can keep track of that. Here at the venue, it would be a little hard because there's a hallway between, and you just kind of go by sound which one you want to follow. But you have the best seat possible if you are not here live in Loveland, Colorado. We're glad you are with us on WFTDA.tv all weekend long. We will pick up this game very shortly, under 50 seconds to go, as the Galaxy girls in black for Seattle already lined up, ready to go. Lots of action to come. Again, 2 more games on either track on today. Tomorrow, another block of 6 games, and starting with either female or open division. I'll check the bracket on that. But schedule at juniorrollerderby.org and also on the Facebook event page, 2019 JRDA Championships. We'll also be posting the final scores in that Facebook group if you happen to miss any. All right, all the skaters are lined up now. 5 seconds to Derby-ish. There's the rolling whistle. So soon we'll take it to the track. Killikee among the awesome Derby ref roster we have. As I'll describe what's happening, and soon we'll be able to switch to it. Just looks like a technical issue at the moment. Lead jam for number 180, Rival E. Rival E, lead jam for Seattle. And there we go, number 8, I'll see you later, the opposition. We have a skater who took a bad fall there. It was Mace of Spades, so we'll take an injury timeout. Halftime stats. Penalty-wise, go through first. Galaxy girls with, both teams with several skaters with multiple penalties. 1,000 Deathina with 5. M. Norberg with 3, Afro Jamurai with 3, A. Rashid with 3, everyone else with either 2, 1, or 0. For the Rosebuds in white, Fulagora with 4 penalties, and the rest with 2, 1, or 0. The 2's going to Smash Tag, the Ruminator, and Misdemeanor. As far as the jammers go, and scoring, and skaters up, good sign. Of course, we always have medical staff on site, and we will not pick up again until medics are available to watch the game as we carry on here in the venue. But for points, the Galaxy girls, unofficially now, just by my count, 44 points each. For 21, the Iron Rabbit, also 44 points for 800 Bruno Scars. For the Rosebuds, 16 points scored by 904 Ruby Slippers, and 12 points by number 8, I'll see you later.
I just saw the armband. I do not know yet.
Pacing-wise, just checking in the last minutes of the period, 24-8 in favor of Seattle in the last 5 jams of the period. And before that, a 12-4 net 8 jam for the Galaxy girls. Lead jam is Go-Go. And Go-Go scored 4 points, called it textbook jam there. If you were just joining us watching roller derby for the first time, yes, jammers with the stars on our helmets, they'll be the ones scoring the points following that first trip through the pack and scoring 1 point on each opposing blocker they pass. And we call that a textbook jam because you keep the other jammer from scoring while the first jammer scores and calls off the jam by placing hands on hips repeatedly. And that is, in general, how the game works. as the Iron Rabbit now 4 points scored. A muscling type of jamming, just blasting through or attempting to blast through. Similar to some jammers of years past in the adult game. No fear style.
4 points for Black.
Not always waiting on the other blockers to work their magic. Just going in. Iron Rabbit with 8 points, and again, hard, straight into the pack. But this time, reset back. Meanwhile, up front with Ghost Pepper 2-on-1, just tracking every single twitch, if you will. And that completes the initial trip through the pack.
Hello. All 4 for Black.
Defense held up in the last part of that jam, more than the first part. 12 points were scored. Making 164.
7-0-0.
The winner of this game will play tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time with the winner of Kalamazoo and Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz you have not seen yet. They are the #1 seed. Or you not seen yet today. Perhaps you saw them at previous tournaments. But they have not played yet today. And both teams losing a blocker to the penalty box within about 3 seconds of each other. Donut with the Star Stash.
Yes, well, I was waiting to see if she was gonna call.
Bruno, ooh.
4 points for Black and 0.
Bruno Scars had scored previously 2 points. 2 points for Rose.
172. Going into jam.
Jam not over until the 4th whistle blast. So skated it out and spun through. Passing the hips is the point in which you score.
180, I think. Yes.
172 plays 49. Following that 8-2 net 6 jam for the Galaxy girls. Rival E, LCU later. Strict defense at the moment. One blocker out. Lead jam, LCU later.
180 cut. Get a hold of Ninja. 180.
About a third of a lap lead, and uh-oh. That is a track cut by Rival E, which was being called, and Rival E did not notice, but this is a power jam for LCU later. I was watching the outside ref on that, then the inside ref also with the call. And LCU later, 4 points on the board. Blockers in position except for the blockers, all blockers now in prime position to block and able to stay in bounds with control. Just kind of spinning along with that block. LCU later completes the scoring trip for 4 points, making 8 now. Rival E back in, and that completes the initial trip through the pack. You have to complete that trip before you can score, and jam is called in time. 3 points more for LCU later, making 11. Rose City now up to 60 points. That is their second highest scoring jam of the game. That is also the most points unopposed they have scored at any given time for the Rosebuds. Lady Gotcha for the Rosebuds. However, lead jam Naylor Swift is on a scoring trip. Full complement of blockers in the front. Just swarming, recycling, moving up. Now a mixed pack to run some offense. And chased by the pivot, and that is a 4. And we have a down skater in turn 3, which will be looked at. But yes, 4 points. 4 points scored there.
I got it. But that was called for injury? Okay.
She had already scored that point, and there was going to be a run back, but then they checked her out of bounds. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. So, yes.
So yeah, 4 points scored by the end of that jam. Jam called on the skaters' behalf there. 176-60 now for the Galaxy girls in black. Winner advances to the semifinal game that will be tomorrow afternoon. The runner-up will will play again at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and that will be against. Let's see.
It's buzzing. It's over here. I think it's one of the heads.
Let's double check that because I'm also trying to do all the time zones while I'm actually checking. Hand for the skater who is now up and skating off. Yeah, the runner-up of this game will play Rocky Mountain at 9 a.m. the first game tomorrow, Mountain Time. We'll start off again as soon as medical staff available, and it looks like a thumbs up is given. If I am reading that thumb correctly. There we go. Tight formation to start the jam, and it is Ruby Slippers with lead. 21, the Iron Rabbit through the pack. Ruby Slippers scores and calls it 4 points. Ruby Slippers with 16 points in the first period, 20 total in the game. As Rosebuds with 64 now to Seattle's 176.
Winner comes back tomorrow at 1 p.m. to face the winner of Kalamazoo versus Santa Cruz.
JDRA championships continue in the quest for first place. This is the first game for either of these teams, the number 4 and number 5 seeds respectively this weekend here in the female division. Jam called, and there's the, yes, there are the points, 4 points.
Going into jam 9.
176-68. Four blockers and one jammer per team. Penalty box is clear. Ghost Pepper, foremost jammer. That is 911 in white for Rose City, team from Portland. But it is lead jam 180 In the black uniform, Rival E, who broke through the pack first legally and now is on a scoring trip and completes the scoring trip for 4 points, one for each opposing blocker they pass after that first trip through the pack. Star pass to the pivot. Pivot 13, Fulagora. Ooh, Jammers free to engage each other anywhere on the track, and Rival E no-sold that block. Call like it is. And continued on, 4 points. Jammers resets and carry on as Rose City Jammer, there's Fulagora with the star with 4 points to Rival E's 8. There's the jam, the call off. Now we'll wait on any additional points. See the referees with fingers in the air. 11-4 it will be. 72-187, that is net 7 for the Galaxy Girls in that jam. 19:15 to go in the game. That was a metallic water bottle. Not nothing to be concerned about. False start, you may have heard call on Bantam Phantom, but as long as they yield following that warning, we're okay. It's not a penalty just for that. Through the pack is Go-Go calling off the jam, but was it called in time? It was. It was. 4 points by Go-Go.
I'm holding it up. Oh, yeah.
191-72, 18-25 in the period.
We're taking 18 minutes to go in the game, 191-72.
4 more games after this, played in 2 blocks on the 2 tracks. More on that in a moment as the Iron Rabbit meets LCU later with Lead Jam. And calling up from the floor, 2 points, 2 points.
Still at 191. Going into jam 12.
191-74.
Yes, I didn't know what you were saying.
Don't mess with me now, Star.
No.
Any Bruno Stars?
47-27 in favor of Seattle this period so far. But the scoring, as far as the points on the board, other than a couple jams, it's been back and forth. Fair number of 4-0 type jams. Hard block in the turn, pass not earned. Everyone not quite past upright and in bounds, but still that completes the initial trip through the pack. So Bruno Scars eligible to score. Donut takes off the star despite being lead jammer, and if my memory serves, that does away with the lead jam call. So Bruno Scars, 4 points. Yes, Donut Mess With Me is not the lead jammer. Could pass the star at any point now because the jam will go a full 2-minute time limit, 1 minute to go. And Bruno Scars called to the penalty box. That is some illegal contact made. And the star indeed has been passed. We have 29, the Rubinator with the star and eligible to score. In the remaining 31 seconds, because the lead jammer removed the star. And that does away with the lead jammer designation, just the same as if it had been passed. Stood up there by Toe Jammer and joined also by A. Rashid. There's the block out. And Bruno Scars back out, picking up where they left off. 4 points on the board. Quick, in fact. What a jam that was. No matter who you were watching. 8-3. That is net 5 for the Galaxy girls, up 199 to 77.
I'm at red, black.
Under 15 minutes to go, 3/4 of the way through the game of roller derby.
And Naylor Swift gets the jam for the Galaxy girls.
7-1-3, Naylor Swift with the lead jam over Lady Gotcha. You hear the call for defense. Jammers meet up momentarily, and that was Naylor Swift with a forearm. That was close. Whether it be a forearm or a back block, but yes, the arm did touch the back of the opposing jammer and knocked him down. Well, so prime rulebook example of that, as Lady Gotcha through the pack, now eligible to score. One minute to go in the jam. Lead jammer was called out, so jam will go the remainder of the time limits. Forearm on the pivot. Both jammers back out and engaged. Lady Gotcha removes the star. The pivot is at least 10 feet and counting away. Naylor Swift completes the scoring trip. And a star pass for Rose. 3 points were scored. I think it came down to when the star was passed and the positioning. Well, I know it did. Just if it had happened in slow motion, I could tell you exactly who and where. 8-3. 8-3 now. That was net 5 for the Galaxy girls, up 207 to 80. 12 and a half to go in the game. More action after this, including the Diamond City Miners against the Cherry Bomb Brawlers. That is the number 1 seed versus the number 9 seed. Number 9 Cherry Bomb with a mild upset over the Raleigh Junior Rollers, the number 8 seed earlier today. That'll be on this track. Stay tuned. Lead jammers go-go. Go-go maintaining speed but caught. And that will stop it. LCU later with the defense and mild pile up there. There's the call off after 3 points and rough jam. 3-1 it is. Net 2 for Seattle.
Okay. So that is 210 total.
This game, and I've said it for years, there are some games in roller derby that are much more exciting and much more, you appreciate the quality of gameplay if you don't really harp on what the score is right now. That said, lead jam for Seattle. But excellent derby being played on both sides. LCU later, the opposition to Rival E, who has broken out of the pack. Rival E with 4 points and calls it. How do you watch the Philly game at 7? Actually, you will watch it at, yeah, that would be 7 Eastern, wouldn't it? I was going to say, we are in Mountain Time, speaking as another East Coaster, answering the question. That will be on the yellow track, and there should be an option in Twitch for that. If not, somebody should reply momentarily with the direct link for you. Lead jam Bruno Scars over Ruby Slippers. And Ruby Slippers completes the initial trip through the pack. I'm amazed by the blocking I've seen. I shouldn't be amazed because I know the quality of Derby, but lots of great blocking, especially on this track all day long. And you're seeing it as very few of those double-digit jams and practically no runaway jams following, well, there were a couple kind of in the middle of the first period, but not this time. And I remember those blockers playing offense and defense at the same time. Bantam Phantom. No, that is not. We know better than that. That was, no, a track cut by 21, the Iron Rabbit. The Iron Rabbit with the penalty. Power Jam Ghost Pepper. One-on-one defense up front by Annihilator, and that completes the scoring trip. 4 points. The Iron Rabbit back in play. Skater down in the, skater down in the straightaway. Jam will be called before the Iron Rabbit comes back again. Let's see, 4 points white, 4, okay, there we go, 8-4. Gotta wait on it to be called. Want to make sure it's all right. 8 points scored for Rose, 4 for Seattle, and that was the Iron Rabbit, so net 4 for Rose that time. If my chicken scratch, the relation to Scott Chicken is correct, Des Moines and Sioux Falls will play tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That is noon Central, 1 Eastern. Someone asking about Des Moines. And again, nobody's weekend over yet, as teams who lose today can still play for up to 5th place. And that play goes on all weekend long. Specifically, if you have a bracket, that will be game number 15 between the runner-up of game 2, which was Sioux Falls, number 10 seed, and the runner-up in game 5, which will be Des Moines, number 5 seed. And again, that will be 11 Mountain Time tomorrow. Skaters off skates, but did walk off the track. 7:58 to go in the game following that 8-4 net 4 jam for Rose. Going to see the next up, the Diamond City Miners and Philly, respectively, for the first time. And then after that, Santa Cruz and Jacksonville, the Duval All-Stars. First time seeing them. They will all respectively play the winners of the first 4 games. First 2 open division and next 2 female division. That will do it for day number 1 right here at the ranch in Loveland, Colorado.
I think it's 7-1-3.
So next game at that is 5 local time. That will be 4 Pacific, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Will be between the Diamond City Miners and the Cherry Bomb Brawlers. That will be here on the pink track, the yellow track at the same time. It will be Philly versus the winner of game 2, Capital City. Following that, the next 2 games in the female division on the pink track, Santa Cruz playing the winner of game 3, which was Kalamazoo, and the Duval All-Stars playing the winner of game 4, which was FOCO. LCU later, Lee Jammer. Jammer and Blocker in the penalty box for Black. 4 points scored.
Black Jammer back on the track.
And another 4 points. Naylor Swift completing the initial trip through the pack. I'll see you later. Calls it mid. No, did pass everybody there. 4 points. Big jam for Rose City, 12 points. That is the high-scoring jam for Rose City, the Rosebuds, in this period, I do believe. And I believe that ties the high-scoring jam in the period as well, as Seattle had one in jam number 2. 6.5 to go with Go-Go and Donuts. Mess with me. Throw called on the pivots. And no, it is a jammer penalty as well. A track cut on Donut Mess With Me. Go-Go lead jam and power jam. Blocked, recycled back, and quickly maintaining, well, yeah, picked up, just shook it all off and finished that scoring trip, did Go-Go, with 4 points. Blocked hard, and a back block. Rather, it was a block 2, not a block from, as Go-Go called out, and it is a power jam for Donuts, who is back in play and stashed the star. So now in position to cancel those 4 points scored by Go-Go previously. 37 seconds to go in the jam. Action all around, 8 points for Seattle, 3 for Rose.
3 points up for Donut Mess With Me. 8 total for Go-Go. 229-105. We got 4 minutes to go in our game.
That's fine. Okay, sorry.
Black Pivot 700. Black Jammer is to 1.
Number 904, Ruby Slippers. Force out, hold that goes for air.
Back Black
229, 105. And a back block was the call on the Iron Rabbit. Ruby Slippers completes the initial trip through the pack. 3:17 to go, 40 seconds expired in the jam at that time. Four points scored. Blocked out. Almost looked for a call off, but not the lead jammer. Iron Rabbit back in play and completing the scoring trip for 4 points. And check it out, one-on-one up front. But the pivot called out. Ruby Slippers with 8 total points. 15 seconds remaining in the jam. And, but, oh, nope.
4 for Black.
Illegal contact. And that'll go against Ruby Slippers. 8-8. And watch for any more points. There will not be any more points. So 8-8 it ends. 2:37, 113, 148 and counting in the game.
Official review called by Coach Willie.
Official review call, and we'll hope to have information on that as soon as we have it.
Up next on this very track at 5, probably 20 at this point, maybe 5:30, will be gate number 9, Sherry Brawlers versus Zion City Miners.
Score following that 8-8 jam, 237, 113, 133 again to go.
There was one other timeout. Who took the timeout?
So 2 more blocks of games going on. One set to begin on the yellow track, featuring Philly against the winner of game 2, which was Capital City. And then the 7 p.m. Local time, the last 2 games of the day, the female division. And again, we'll see Santa Cruz on the pink track and the Duval All-Stars on the yellow track. Against the winners of game 3 and 4 respectively today. And the referees have dispersed, and hopefully one will come over and let us know about the results of the official review.
We explain it to them, yeah.
Yes. So the white team wanted the illegal contact removed from the white jammer for lack of impact. After further discussion, we changed the penalty to a back block. So we did remove the removed. Still a penalty. Yes.
Not illegal contact, but a back block, actually, the call, but kind of a strange turn there on that official review. But the official review will be retained as the call was the call was overturned, but then call on something else. 237-113 as Rivalry is scoring on this power jam. Jammer and blocker standing at the same time for Rose City. And through for 4 points, Rival E. And that makes 12, making 249. 50 seconds to go in the game, a minute 16 in the jam. Potentially. Rival E calls off the jam. 7, skate 9 did recover and could skate in the next jam, but likely, well, look at the clock. This game, following that 13-point jam by Seattle, 250 to 113.
Number 904 will be stayed in the penalty box. However, the penalty changed.
And lead jam it is for LCU later to skate us out as the game clock has expired. A minute 45 potentially to go in the jam, or until the lead jammer calls it off. Bruno Scars has completed the initial troop through the pack. LCU later scores, calls it off. 3 points to show for that, and unofficial final then will be 250 to 116. Again, 250 to 116. We'll have the final score for you momentarily, but it appears that Seattle, the Galaxy girls from the Seattle Derby Brats, will advance in the tournament, and they will play tomorrow and continue to play against teams who continue to win until they get to potentially the championship game on Sunday evening. Yes, there's the rolling whistle, and game is called. Final score 250 for Seattle, 116 for Rose City. The Rosebuds will continue to play as well against teams who lost their initial game and continue to skate until skating for a possible 5th place. Congratulations again to Seattle, also Rose City. Great game, and especially the defense holding up in the second half as it did. More action to come right here on WFTDA.TV from the Junior Roller Derby Association Championships.